Hi guys, welcome back to another P3D version 5 video. We are actually backtracking a bit, going back to the McDonnell Douglas / Douglas series with an aircraft that I actually forgot to cover. And no, it's not the Leonardo Mad Dog. That one we already did, and that's a great high fidelity one, probably one of the best in P3D. But we actually didn't do the Coolsky Super 8 Classic. And the reason why we're doing this aircraft instead of the Super 8 Professional is because this one has the Omega navigation system. I think that's the name of it, at least. The ONS, something like that. I think it was shut down back in 1997, so hasn't been available for a while. But you'll notice when we go into the cockpit, this one actually has like the old kind of cockpit that the original MD-82s had. So that's why I thought it's worthwhile to do a separate video with this aircraft instead of the Leonardo Mad Dog, which has the modern cockpit layout, which was later retrofitted onto MD-82s and similars. I think it was originally released with the MD-88, if I'm not mistaken. Like the modern cockpit style, or the more modern cockpit style. So yeah, we are flying the Scandinavian Airlines, or we're donning the Scandinavian Airlines livery, flying from Malmö, which you can see here with this yellow kind of coloring. Never been to this airport in real life though, so not sure how to form this one is, but it does look pretty good. It's an Orbex airport. And we're flying from here to EKBI, Billund in Denmark. It's just a short flight because I just want to show you the navigation system, which I guess is the most interesting part of this aircraft. What else? Payware add-ons. We have Denmark free photoreal for all of Denmark. Same for Sweden. Then of course the Orbex airport for Malmö, and then the Simnord airport for Billund. And that's about it, I think, in terms of that. As you can see, we have some really old. I think this is from Ultimate Traffic Live, because we have the Malmö Aviation, and so it's a bit of a mix of AI traffic. But oh well, good enough. In terms of this aircraft, I think the exterior model is quite nice, not on par because it doesn't have PBR, right? And I guess generally also you can just you can see a bit with the coloring, so it's not on par with the Mad Dog, but it's still pretty good. I would say a higher level than the DC-9 by Coolsky, at least in the exterior. You'll notice it's the opposite with the interior, unfortunately. So yeah, pretty good. Let me see if you can. Because you do have the flight center, right? So you can do some changes. We can ask, for example, for external power. And you can open some of these doors here as well. Let me see if I can make this smaller. I'll just close it. Let me see if we have an external. Doesn't seem like we have anything that shows on the outside, but it's pretty nice, this flight center, because you have the dispatch here as well and those sort of things. In terms of bugs, I don't think this one has that many. There's some maybe with the increments on course, increments and speed that gets stuck, so you're moving with like 5 or 10 in increments of 5 or 10. So that's the only one I know of. But otherwise it doesn't have that much. I don't think it has failures. So it's a bit limited. I would say this is a bit lower than high fidelity, like the super high fidelity. It's in the hollow, very good though. Let me see, I'll close, I'll open these. Let me see if there's anything else you can open. You can open that one. Can you open this side? Could be that you can't even open those side. Yeah, maybe you can't even open the cargo on this one. That's unfortunate, but oh wait, sorry, I opened a lot of windows. What does it say? It's a bit hard to read since I can't adjust the. Let me see, panel sound, if we want that right. Just checking if there's something we need to set here. I can do cold cockpit, all systems off. Oh, now we've opened that the stairs. I do wonder though if you can even remove the stairs without removing the. Let me have a look. Oh no, you can open those forward stairs. Yeah, we don't want those. We want that one, and then we can close that. Yeah. Sorry about that. Let's see if we can even get this one does have a FSX profile. Or sorry, GSX profile. No jetway can operate at this position. Doesn't seem so. We'll be a bit hampered by that, unfortunately. I should probably set up a profile for this one, but I haven't had time. But okay, if we're jumping into the aircraft, as you can see, it's pretty okay down here. Not at all, honestly. You can really see the age of this add-on. Not everything is clickable. Some are like only clickable in 2D panels. Some things work better. For example, it seems like I can't get the cockpit. I think that was the thing I changed here in options, right? Panel sounds. So yeah, not everything seems to be functioning as it should. What can be fixed probably quite easily. In terms of the overhead, you can see it's a 2D panel. As you know, with some of my earlier aircraft videos with the back 111, I'm not scared of doing the 2D panels, as long as it's in a 3D environment. And I would say this one holds up otherwise fairly well. You don't really have the windshield wipers though, and none of the external model seems to be modeled from the inside, so that's a bit of a sad, but you do have the Omega navigation system, right? You can see the performance computers and the PMS. And then all of this being set up here, so it's a bit different, the layout to the Leonardo Mad Dog, and that's why I think on its own this add-on is worth it, just because, you know, if you really want to fly with this kind of a system, this is the only option you have, and I think this is the only option we have in all of Flight Sim, so that's good to be aware of. Let's just jump outside, because I think I didn't look if there's any cockpit or cabin, and I think actually, if I remember correctly, we're just gonna go in quickly, there is a cabin. So, you know, really simplistic. But still, I mean, this one was probably released like 15 years ago, and I can, you know, this add-on still holds up in terms of fidelity pretty well, apart from the textures. That's quite something. Not bad, so to say. Okay, but let's start by just checking what our SimBrief flight plan is saying in terms of weight, so we can set that in. And I mean, this is pretty cool that you do have the dispatch in the sim. I mean, I know a lot of them that don't even have it, and they were released like within the last 5 years, right? And you have to tweak it through the fuel planner in P3D. So if we're looking at 0 fuel weight, you can see here we have our totals, and they are affected, of course, by me decreasing here. So if we're going down to around 13.8, let's do 14, I think. We don't have to be exact, just so we have some extra. 14.58, and then if we do this one, and we want to be down at a 0 fuel weight of 105, we go higher than this? Doesn't look like we can. So we have a bit of a discrepancy in terms of the zero fuel weight that we can have in this one compared to the SimBrief flight plan. We'll just go with the highest here. Luckily we do have this summary here, so we can just use this instead. Now we're at 104 though, so that's pretty close, I would say. And then we load it in. You can't see it on the screen. I'm tweaking it here on the my right screen, because I can't figure out how to move this. But I'm now loading it in, so you can see it's updated. And now we have that. But let's remember that we can't really use... we can use SimBrief, but it's not going to be perfect. Okay, so to continue, we'll start... I mean, it's the same setup as the Mad Dog one, right? We start with the batteries, put those on. Then some things that one needs to remember is the different switches. But I'm actually first off gonna connect the external power. That one doesn't seem to be connected. I'm gonna also quickly jump out and just look that the door is open. Yeah, that's good. So there we go, we're connecting the external power buses, and let's see if it's working now. We should have galley as well. You do have a checklist, which you can also access through the flight center. I'm just gonna quickly show you. I'm gonna try not to use it, but it's pretty good, you know, just to like check. Sorry, that was the training guide, but you should have a checklist as well. Yeah, here we go. And then you do like next item. Well, let me
cruise checklist.
After takeoff checks.
Before takeoff checks.
Taxi checks.
Prior to engine start checks.
Yeah.
Galley power off.
Yeah, galley power off. But that's before the engine
Before
start.
start checks.
Okay.
Before start checks.
Oh, before starting engines. Yeah.
Prior to engine start checks. Before start checks.
So that's, yeah, so there is some nice checklist. Let's see if we use that. It's quite noisy, and I don't think there's anything I haven't seen here before. So let's see though if we are getting... I'm gonna check the... Oh, sorry about that. It's opening up all of these. So we can start that. I think we're finally getting something happening in this aircraft. It's finally starting up, so that's good. You can see the annunciator panel, all of this. Then this one will start. The ones down here, it's the digital screens basically. We can start the ONS as well, just to make sure it has power. Master caution, no need for that. And then, sorry about that. And let's see. Oh yeah, we need to start. That's for the lights, and that's the digital. So we get these ones working. So now we can just ready to start pump. Do the emergency lights to arm. No smoking on. Should be fine. And we can just start the taxi. Let me see. Can you stairs are disabled? Let's see. We request boarding. I'm just gonna do that with both pack X. I think our 882 was our flight number. We're going up to 26,000 feet. We're departing ESMS to EKBI. Wait, let me just fix the GSX. We'll do 80 passengers on that. 2 hours on that. 0555 just to have something. Let's find the MD-82 here. We can do 80 passengers there. Play boarding music. Let's do that since we're flying SAS. Safety brief. we're also doing ZAS. Quite a lot of different ones, but let's just do the first one. It wants us to open a few. Let me see if I can open. So I'm starting with open exit 2 and exit 4. Not sure which ones they are. Actually, I'm gonna skip the pushback, just reset position. So I'm just gonna use GSX because I don't think the profile is set up right. So I'm just gonna keep GSX on kind of standby. Quite good placement, at least for the GSX, I must say. Okay, so no GSX. We can check the yeah, the fuel looks correct. Let's check there. We can wait actually checking that. So as we're doing the boarding now, let me just start the anti-collision lights with that on position. As we're doing the boarding now, we can just do the flight directors. What we do want to do is set up the navigation, right? I do think we also have, I'm not sure. It seems to work, so that's nice to see. I'm just wondering if it's a bit hard to tell. I'm just wondering if it's like a basic, but I'm gonna assume it's a working radar. So the way we do this, or the way we set it up, is you start with this little thing here, the ACAR system. So this one is then connected to the Omega system, and then we have finally the kind of the performance thrust management computer, performance management system. And the way you do this, you do flight number first. We can clear the old numbers, and then we should have 882. We enter that. We do departure. That's the correct one. We enter that, and then we do destinations. We're not flying to Hamburg. I was just setting this up yesterday, but we are flying instead actually to EKBI. So let's find the B and I. There we go. Enter. So that should be it. And now, in order to check that this one is actually working, and I'm a bit I'm a bit interested in seeing this. So we can just do initialization, yeah, or initialization, and yeah, it looks pretty good. Latitude, longitude. We can enter that. Okay, so flight plan's been requested. Let's see if this works. Transition complete. Flight plan received. And the way this works is that you have to save your flight plan in. Oh, now I'm starting Steam by mistake. Let me just shut that off so we don't get some extra. Steam background processes closed. There we go. So is that you save it. I have to do it in version 4 for it to work. But you save it, basically departure, arrival, and then flight number, and then these lines between. And that's it. And that's how you load it. And the way I do it in SimBrief, and then I download from there the flight plan. Then you can go check route, and you can just confirm with SimBrief. We don't have SIDS and stars because I thought it's better to do without it. Disco, Robus, Odin. That looks correct. And then page 2, Nissan, Vebra, EKBI. Perfect. So we do have a nice flight plan here. Then what we can do is we can go to, and I'm just quickly gonna set that up as well, but we can go to pilot to ADC. Just make sure we get kind of the same. So we're flying from runway 35, and this looks good. Disco, Robus, Odin, Nissan, Vebra. And we are flying no SID, but we're gonna just do a SID since we're flying from runway 35. No departure. Just load. then star, and we're landing at 27. No stars. We'll then approach, and let's do Z, and let's do a transition of Bevra, or we do a vector to Loxa. Both will work, but let's do vectors just to make sure, since we don't have a SID in our plane. Then we can connect. Should say Scandinavian 4003. It does. And we should be able to file it as well. So there we go. And now we're not done. At least not yet. Let's make sure our radios are on. They do look to be on, right? I'm just gonna check quickly the 2D panels. I find that they sometimes are good to check. Yes, looks good. So what we'll do is oh yeah, the performance management system. And this is to kind of set it up nicely with the different with the, I guess it's related to the thrust and also to the flight plan itself to make it let me just check if you have like the VNav. You have the performance, right, which is a bit as like an early VNav system. So what you do is you press plan, voila. Then the lowest you can put on the gross weight, which kind of applies, is 120. So this is kind of what we have. Fuel, that was about 14. I don't think you can do 14.5, but let's try 15. Okay. And then trip. How long is our trip basically? I usually try to figure out how you can check that. You know, like a smooth way. I guess you could kind of just add together all the waypoints. Or perhaps one could check SimBrief. Usually they have a good route distance, 185. That's the best way. Just do SimBrief. Voila. And there you go. These are calculated, and then you can press this to do some even more in-depth kind of wind component, temperature, deviation at flight level. So if we try the wind component, I would just use the average, get the knots, the altitude. You can of course set the different ones, right, depending on what you're flying, or kind of the step climbs. Let's just put 26 this time. And temperature, and this one I'm not really sure, dew point, how you set that in a good way. So let's say you're doing 26 now, so we're doing like minus 35, right? So I've always been a bit unsure because I can't seem to find the way to do minus here. Oh, there's plus. Or wait. Oh, there's minus. We got it. Was it minus 35? Okay, good. Solved that one today. That's always nice to see. So minus, it's quite a steep. Let's do minus 40. I think that makes sense. Then you would do that here, right? So at flight level. And I think this is how you set it up. Could be wrong with this one. Just on temperature divided by deviation of flight level. But I think this should be correct. So that should be it for. And I think this one is tied. Trying to figure out, could it be to the thrust, or is this just the performance? Maybe this is not at all related to the thrust actually. Sorry about that. This could be related just to the performance. So for the kind of VNav, pre-VNav that this plane has. Let's have a look. Where is runway 35? It's the one to the right, so we'll be taxiing down quite a bit. So good that we have a bit of extra fuel. Anything else we need to check? We should of course check what we should set our trims and those stuff. Let's wait a bit. And a nice thing to check.
Fire left engine.
You can do the
Fire right engine.
the fire ones. I think those do seem to. Let me just try again.
Fire left engine.
Yeah, they do work.
Fire right engine.
So it does have all those sounds that are pretty fun. And let me see with these one. We can put these valves, the pneumatics on. The auxiliary pump should be on. Trying that could be on low. We can start the APU while we wait. We have the start pump, so that's good. So let's see if this one starts now. This is off, that's good. And here we have the pressurization, right? Landing altitude. Let's have a look. Okay, so the APU is starting. God, I don't know what the EKBI landing altitude is actually. Not by heart, but it shouldn't be that high because it's Denmark we're talking about. So it's 250. Let's put it as 300 here because we don't seem to have an option. Rammer, I guess we can have on when you're on the ground, right? Take off and land unpressurized. Maybe you don't need to set this. 3.303. So a bit above. There we go. You can move this wiper, but I think it only works in the. I'm just gonna show you. So if you do shift 1, you get a wiper, and then you can move it.
We're on your time now.
But I'm not sure why you would want the moving wiper like this. I guess if you're just flying like this, it does look. I gotta give them. It's quite a neat system, I guess, back in the day. Okay, the pack X is ready. We can put on the seatbelt signs. We do have the APU buses. So let's turn those on. You can see kind of the flickering with the changing the electric power. We can put the air on. We can do the fuel pumps. I don't think we'll need the forward, the center ones, if I am not mistaken, because I don't think we have any fuel in those, right? If you look here, we only have in the left and the right. Anything else we need to do? We can close our doors actually. Ground open, close main door, and then we can remove the external power. We can shut those buses.
And welcome aboard flight 882 with service to
And here you can see, of course, external we have no volts, but we get some from the APU.
The cabin door is now closed. We ask that you make sure that all devices are in airplane mode and your larger devices are now shut down and
Let's
stowed.
ask for IFR clearance as well.
Please fasten your seatbelt and verify it is low and tight
Scandinavian
across your lap.
4003, ready to copy IFR clearance.
Flight attendants, please prepare cabin for departure and cross checks.
You didn't hear us. Scandinavian 4003, ready to copy IFR clearance. Oh, we are at the 80s, sorry, we're at the 80s, we're at the wrong channel. Scandinavian 4003, ready to copy IFR clearance. Climb and maintain 4,000 feet, so not that high. As you can see, we have to kind of move the screens. These ones you can just kind of press to get the altitude select.
Scandinavian 4003 is cleared to Echo Kilo Bravo India is filed. Climb and maintain 4,000 feet. Expect higher clearances 2 minutes after departure. Squawk 6306.
And this one moves in like increments of 10.
Scandinavian 4003 read that correct.
Not sure how to get it to move in, but I'm gonna use that. It should be fine. 250 should be fine.
Altimeter is 3027 Scandinavian 4003.
The squawk was 6306. Where do we see the squawk? It must be here, right? So we can put this on 6306. There we go. Set that in. We shouldn't have the weather radar on now since we're on the ground, or you know, we would fry someone like the pushback crew. So let's keep that off for now. Let's ask for pushback, and let's at the same time ask for pushback from pilot to the sea. Scandinavian 4003, ready for pushback. Pushback approved.
Pushback approved Scandinavian 4003.
So you can also tweak some of these waypoints. I haven't fiddled around with that yet, but you are supposed to kind of tweak them, and you kind of then insert the longitude and latitude to get that system working. Oh, one thing you need to do, which I forgot, is to execute. And then you enter. So now this is our actual route that we are flying. And the way you can check that is by pressing nav up here. Let me just show you so you see that it should change. Nav. And now you see we're getting the all of these things working as they should. And we got pushback clearance, that's good. Let's see if there's anything else. We have those pneumatics. We can open those locks. We can have this to ground start and continuation. Seat belt sign should be on. Windshield anti-fog, yes. Anything else? Let me see. I think that should be on armed. Mac trim inoperative, jaw dampener off. We can actually put these two on. Let me see. One way to see a bit better here could be to put on the panel light. I find that helps a bit with the 2D panel. Let's see, and now they're connecting. You can see the pushback truck. Whoop. Okay, standard pushback for this gate. Okay, so not the best setup. Okay, we can now. I'm just gonna check that we don't have chokes or anything in. We don't seem to do that. I'm gonna release the parking brakes. And now they're pushing us back. Seems to work quite well. This is a really nice, doesn't seem to be, maybe there's some 3D actually in, it looks like an old airport. Yeah, sorry for the camera is a bit wobbly. Okay, so the way we do is we
Starting right engine.
starting right engine.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the screen to an important
Okay, and it looks
safety
correct.
demonstration. Thank you for flying with us.
We can take the fuel cutoff and put that up. And it should start.
40%.
And it's starting. It's actually pretty cool. It's much better on the Mad Dog how it looks, that sort of starting procedure, but at least you know they have that mimicked. And I think this was released like back in 2008 or something, right? So keep that in mind. And though it was a bit, I guess, updated for P3D. Okay, so quite a fast, but now we should have. You can see that one spinning compared to that. We can start the left engine.
Starting left engine.
Looking good. The fuel cutoff. Is this how they are set parking routes?
40%.
Okay, and now it's starting. Okay, I think this should be sufficient. Let's see, I think they're dropping us down now, hopefully. Okay, so both of these are stabilized. I usually do this to take off Toga Flex. we'll have to activate the auto throttle and then do the EPR limitation. I think that's the way I've done it, at least to get the... I think we can do these pneumatics. Let's shut those. We can do the bleed air. Shut the APU bleed air. We don't need the start pump either. I think the RAM one, you want to have one whilst you're on the ground, if I'm not mistaken. And then the APU switch here, we can shut off. We can put on the pitot heat. So yeah, now it's looking pretty good. Not sure about the Mac trim switch. I think it's this one seems to be... Okay, now it's off, so that's good. Okay, we can confirm good engine start. And now they should be disconnecting it. They're putting our plane down again. We seem to have our camera angle looking better now. You can see the SAS 737s here. So you know the scenery is a bit old, and also that the traffic one I'm using in conjunction or together with the AEG is a bit older, the Ultimate Traffic Live. But I like it, you know, it gives some nostalgia seeing some of these old ones. Even though the models aren't the best, they're quite basic. Let's ask for taxi clearance. Scandinavian 4003, ready to taxi.
Scandinavian 4003 taxi to runway 35
And let's just check,
taxi to
not the
runway
destination,
35
sorry,
short runway 35
departure.
Scandinavian 4003.
So 1, 2, 5, and it has that set already, so that's nice. Anything else we need to do? I'm not like fluent with this aircraft. We can put it on the weather radar. So you know, there's probably things I'm missing to highlight, but feel free to comment what it is in that case. Yes, we have the lights on. Seatbelt signs on. We need to do the pack X. Ask them to put their seatbelt signs on. I think that should be it. We don't need the APU bus. You can shut that. I'm not sure the galley, maybe you do. You should have had that off when you're starting the engines, but oh well, not the biggest miss. We can release the parking brakes. Okay, we are not moving. Giving a bit of thrust. Okay, not moving yet. Let's actually have a look, because I was wondering about the trim that we should have. You can see it here on dispatch. Stab trim 6.9. I think it's a bit hard to see it. But basically it should be 6.9, like that. We can, let me see, can you do the speed brake?
The cabin is ready.
Because you should, I think you should arm that, right? Then we need to do this one to take off for the, and then we can do, let me check, I think it's also here where you choose which one. So if we're doing 11, I think, in terms of flaps.
Takeoff position.
Let's give a bit more thrust so we can get
Flaps 11.
flaps 11. Now we're moving, and the cabin is also ready. Okay, so now we're starting to burn a bit of fuel as well. And the outside model is pretty damn good for being so old. And it taxis quite nicely. Let me see if there's anything. I'm forgetting with this old beast. But I don't think so. I think we'll just try to follow this one. Oh, maybe one thing actually. What I like to have open here is to see kind of the range things. I don't think the DME is on this one works, unfortunately. So then that's the next best thing to see kind of how long do we have left to the next waypoint. Gives us some ability to plan ahead. Okay, let's turn to the right here. We have a bit of an overcast, so it will be interesting. Hopefully the vectoring is good this time. We still haven't gotten the tower handover, so that makes sense. So we are taxiing down quite a bit. Okay, going a bit fast with the taxiing maybe. Let's put it down a bit. We're going around. Well, maybe not too fast, but tiny bit. Let's see if I hopefully don't get any errors once we're taking off, but I'm not sure how to kind of arm the speed brake on this one, so I'm a bit afraid that might be an issue. Let's see. Okay, let me pull back the throttles a bit. Let's have a look at the upper pedestal actually. It doesn't really show. The ADF is looking a bit weird. Yeah, sorry about that. They're so huge those, because they're made for smaller screens, like I think. Or older screens with different ratios. Look at all these abandoned planes. What are those? That's a Mad Dog, but then what are those other ones? Almost look a bit like they're not Electras, but Saabs maybe? Maybe that's all Saab ones. Or like BAE, those ones that also existed. There's so many like that. It's a bit sad actually that never sold that well. I guess it's really like a hard business to be in aircraft manufacturing. Not the easiest. Oh, but look, it looks a bit different now, the weather radar, so that's a good sign that it's actually functioning. Okay, so let's continue taxiing. Looking quite good. Still looking good. We just need that handover to the tower. Hopefully they know where I am. It does look like they do know where I am, but you never know. We are at the right runway at least. There we go.
Wilco Scandinavian 4003.
Let's do that to boat. So we get the strobes, the landing lights. Scandinavian 4003, ready for takeoff.
Scandinavian 4003, winds are 306 at 10 knots, altimeter is 3030, cleared for takeoff. Runway 35 squawk 6306, maintain runway heading until above 1000.
Runway heading until above 1000.
Left heading 185 to intercept course. Cleared for takeoff. 35 squawking 6306, maintain runway heading until above 1200 feet, then left to 185 Scandinavian 4003.
185. I'm just gonna put that heading so we have that. So you remember that. I don't think anyone was landing here, so we should be fine. Usually smaller airports don't have that many, and I have such a low ratio of AI aircraft anyway. So let's see. Let's get this set up, and now I think everything is set up correctly, so let's I'm wondering about if there's any. I don't think we need to do with transition for the hydraulics. Takeoff. I think we are set. You do have some sort of checklist here. You can choose between flight instrument bugs, anti-ice, flaps and slats, stab trim, APU pneumatic, anti-skids, spoilers, takeoff PA, annunciator lights, nose lights. Yeah, I think we have done our checklist good enough. So let's see. So the way, if I remember, you wanna of course start.
Stabilizer. Front lap.
Wait.
Stabilizer.
Ah, I hate this. So what's wrong with this? I think I have it set in correctly. Can you double check it somewhere though? Like where does it say what? It's a bit hard to see with this one. Oh, here you have flap. Not sure what this one is. Let's see if the upper pedestal can give us CG, right? Yeah, that's CG. Let's put that in based on what we had here. Takeoff 13.1. I think that should hopefully, but I mean yeah, sorry, it's probably gonna be alarms.
Stabilizer. Front lap. Stabilizer.
Oh wait, let me have a look at the flap. Are the flaps even correctly set? It does say it's 11, but it doesn't look like they're 11. Let me check. Here we have flaps, takeoff selection, stow.
Slats, flaps up, slats, and retract. Takeoff flap position, 11, flaps 50, flaps 28, flaps and 50, flaps 11.
Okay, I'm not sure. I'm just gonna take off because I'm pretty sure we have this correctly set up. There'll be some warning sounds though.
Front lap.
Auto throttles.
Stabilizer.
EPR limitation.
Stabilizer. Front lap.
That should stop pretty soon.
Stabilizer.
There we can see the 737 of SAS.
Stabilizer.
60 knots.
Front lap.
80 knots.
80 knots. There they stopped.
V1.
Let's see, where's the V2 speeds actually? I didn't even think of calculating those. You probably can do that through speed cards. I'm gonna guess this is about V1 and rotate. So yeah, there we go. Positive rate of climb. Gear
up.
coming up.
Gear up and locked.
Yeah, gear is up and locked. The nose lights were turned off. Let's gain a bit of speed. It does manually fly very nicely. I mean, this it really feels they've done a really good work with the flight model. It reminds me of the Mad Dog, so that's always a good sign. Okay, let's pull it down a bit so we can.
Slats. Takeoff position. Rotate. V2.
Hit 2. Oh, we don't have nav set. So now we're above 1000 and we can be turning.
V2 plus 10. Flaps up and retract.
One, zero, zero.
Climb to flight level 100 center on 118.0 Scandinavian 4003.
Left 185, right? That's what they wanted us.
Center Scandinavian 4003 climbing to flight level 100.
I think we can do speed select. I think that should work quite well. Let's continue turning a bit. You can see it's flying quite nicely. Let's do the autopilot. We do have, and then vertical speed, so we get a bit of.
Heading 200.
Oh, let me put
Scandinavian
nav
4003.
actually. I need to figure out how to put this to heading, not heading. Heading select. There we go. Heading select 185. Then we can decrease a bit the vertical speed. And let's see. Yeah, looking pretty nice. We should have speed selected. We have altitude selected. We're going 185. So we're going to be flying kind of like south. And then westwards. We can put these to standard. Our altimeter. Still looking good.
Heading 200. Scandinavian 4003.
200. Let's have a look here. 277, so we are going somewhat in the right direction. I'm soon gonna put on the nav mode. I'm gonna decrease a bit our vertical speed. Just a tiny bit. Let's see now. We don't need the speed brake. We can put this to off. Let me have a look though, because we do have the speed cards. Are those open up? Oh, they are. Look, so here we can kind of select, right? So we can set the bugs. So this is what I forgot to do. Here we also have the speeds, the V1s, right? So we're taking off a bit late, considering all things considering. That was just an oversight on my behalf. Here I think you also set the wait, let me just close this, the minimums, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, let's see. We can increase the speed a little bit. We're still climbing. I guess we could do performance. Let me just check what that. Okay, now it's performance, climb, performance. So it's a bit of a VNav. Let's do nav, and let's see how it now kind of functions. So you can see it's 160.
Level 160. Scandinavian 4003.
So let's see. We are holding our speed though pretty nicely. We're at 10,000. Let's retract those. We can resume our own navigation, which we have now with nav. As you can see, we're flying quite nicely. I mean, this is a well done aircraft. I think it's available for FS09 as well, and FSX of course. So it has a long history. What I'm gonna do though, just so since we have some time, we're just gonna set up for the approach already in terms of the 392, which should be and I'm pretty sure this is the one for the decision height. I think so. 39. Then in terms of our final approach, 264, localizer is 110.7. Okay, so 110.7, let's do it here as well. 110.7 course, and this is supposed to be 2. So this is the course bug that they were talking about. Can you set that maybe?
Climb to flight level 220. Scandinavian 4003.
'Cause that's a bit annoying, right? If you can't set the course.
1,000 to go.
Can you maybe set it on the secondary one? Ah, it's their joint. Maybe there's this. Let me see, how high did they give us the clearance to climb to flight level 220? Okay. Let me just have a quick look here at the flight center again, just see options. We can have flight director crossbar instead. Let's just use the one that we have. And let me see, Coolsky Super 8 course. It's a bit odd though. So we need 264. Oh, sorry, this one we can just keep on the performance. So odd. Maybe we can try to set it through our... Can't even set it... That is odd. I'm gonna keep it as 260. That should be give us close enough. We'll be a bit off, so we won't be able to do like proper ILS. But yeah, that bug should be fixed. I know there was some guy explaining how you can do it, but it was really annoying. Loading up different aircrafts and stuff. And now we can see we're turning, so we're turning now to Rubus. And you can see all of these ones are moving or lessening, so we have about 132 nautical miles left. You can see here
Scandinavian 4003 climbing to flight level 260.
260. So we still have to climb a bit. We can, while we do that, set seatbelt signs to off. Let's have a look. Things seems to be working good up here. I'm just gonna keep ram air on. I don't think you need it on, but let's see. Airfoil. Do we need to select anything with that?
Descend to flight level 210 Scandinavian 4003.
Well, that was a really fast 210, so we're already at our top of descent. Okay, that's fine.
Altitude.
Let's see how it does with a descent. It's not a long descent, it's 1000. So let's see how this works. So we didn't even get up to our cruise. I was climbing too slow, I would say.
Descend to flight level 160 Scandinavian.
Okay, 160. It seems to be descending quite nicely. Okay, looking good, but we're now again stuck. Let me see if we can do performance. Now, yeah, so if we double click that again, now we're descending again to flight level 160. A bit sad though that we didn't get to stay in cruise. Would have been interesting to see how it worked, but I mean, it is flying very well, so I'm not too mad about this being a really short flight. Look at these clouds, also quite magnificent. I mean, the 2D clouds have always done well when it comes to the cumulus. I think that's where they shine. It's more the kind of overcasts and those sort of things, or when you have like more complex weather, they really fall in how they look. 'Cause I mean, like looking like this looks quite realistic, but then I guess, you know, some of them on the further away looks a bit. But I mean, you can have those clouds in real life as well, the stratus ones. Okay, so the speed is being held very nicely actually. Flight idle. Yeah, look at that speed. Calculating for the descents, you know, arming this, I mean. And to be frank, I haven't looked through all the options. I mean, the manual is 300 pages. But I just thought I would show it and try it as well, as this might be a plane I'll fly more often if it's fun to do this Omega navigation.
Descend to flight level 110 Scandinavian 4003.
110. Let's see if it will. Okay, now it should continue our descent to 110. It's holding the speed very nicely, so that's nice to see. We can't have that long left. Let me have a look to forward. 100 nautical mile. That was an early descent though. I have no clue why it does descend that early. Now the only reason why I'm worried in that regard is fuel reasons. I hadn't burned that much, but you know, the lower you get, the more you burn. Kind of, at least. We'll be turning right very soon. Is there any way to kind of see where you're turning? That's always... that's the status. This one is showing exactly how long between each waypoint. So that's actually a pretty good one. Let's keep that one on. And we should be turning right in about one... Yeah, there we go. 060. I'm gonna leave us on a bit of a higher altitude before we start descending. Look at beautiful Denmark though. It's really good, the photo reel, the freeware one by Matthias. It just looks really nice. And, you know, with the autogen as well, both here and then I have the... Or sorry, actually the Sweden photo reel isn't freeware, it's the FS scenery. So that one did cost some money, but it's really nice with the autogen and stuff. Looking quite good. Looking quite good. Okay, let's see. So now we're keeping... Is it able to keep the performance? What's the speed it has set in? 290 for the cruise optimization. That makes sense. And that's on cruise. So let's see. We'll start to descend soon. We have about 40 nautical miles. So when we have about 20, I'm gonna start descent. No rush, so to speak. let's see, what do we need to do? Still looking quite good, burning a bit of fuel, but okay otherwise. Maybe we can actually have a look if the speed card gives us some indication on landing. So we do have takeoff, maneuvering, that's pretty good. Do you have something for... here's the VREF speed, so extended 170. Landing with 40, we get the bugs out, perfect. I like that, that's pretty good. I mean, we don't have an EFB, but they have a really good kind of system to... so you don't really think about the fact that you don't have an EFB. I'm also gonna put on the landing lights just so I don't forget that. Then I'm gonna be nice to our passengers and I am gonna ask them to put on their seatbelt signs already. It is time. Let's have a look above. Anything we need to do here? I don't think so. Maybe we could have an engine anti-ice on, but oh well, nobody will die because of that, right? We can do land outland on... oh, we never armed that, that's a problem. So we can arm that on medium, so we should on takeoff and then arm that. That's good to be aware of. I need to have a look at this trim thing as well so I can set it correctly, and same with the flaps, right? Could have been just with the speed cards that didn't set that properly. Still looking good though. Let's jump a bit out. Yeah, nice sceneries, nice clouds. It's always fun to fly when it's a bit like this mix of cumulus clouds. And I think we're almost about 20 nautical miles, so we can now actually start to do the descent to 7,000. And now I'm a bit interested in seeing how this performance one will act. So we're doing a descent. It might be overspeeding, that's my only worry. Right, I'm not sure if it has that limitation, right? I mean, we could, I guess, set that in. So let's look how it handles around 10,000, and we'll put in that limitation. Shouldn't we be descending? What's happening? Descend. There we go. Now it's descending. Or have I managed to put it on hold? Is that the problem? So if I remove the hold, can I change maybe here? Let me just have a look. We are doing the nav track, performance descent. Okay, we can start the descent ourselves, right? Why is only one engine being pulled? Now this is odd. Let's have a look. There we have the altitude select, right? Which is the one we want, because we want to be descending. I'm actually gonna do vertical speed, because that performance one just seems to be doing a bit of odd things now. It's probably me missing something, but yeah, we have vertical speed. Maybe we can set that right, so if we do it like, let me see, like this.
In a few moments, we'll be starting our in-flight service. We will be serving complimentary drinks and snacks. Please look in your seat back for our list of complimentary and premium drinks. Premium drinks are available for a small charge. If you wish to make an additional purchase, please note that we only
Let
accept
me
credit
see.
cards.
Okay, not getting any wiser. We are descending though, so that's at least good. Bit late though, which is less good. Well, not the end of the word. We have vertical speed. We have those on idle. Let's choose a speed. 240 knots should be quite okay. At least the nav works. I think this performance one, I need to look at it, but it's really interesting though. I mean, now look, it's within those parentheses, so maybe it is working. Let's have a look if I do put it back on that. I think we're quite okay. We have quite a bit to. Okay, so now we're back on performance, descent. It's chosen 250. So let's see. It seems to be working quite well. Maybe something I didn't
1,000
remember to arm. Look at this photo reel. This is really nice. And with the autogen, yeah. Looks really good. That does look though like some clouds or similar, so maybe, I mean, it's hard to get rid of all of that, right? Need to get some really good photo reel. So let's look, now we're at 7,000. Descent to flight level 4, let me see, 06. Okay, so we can go down to 06. Let me just make sure we have that selected.
$1,000 to go.
And we're still descending, so that's good. 1,000 to go. 1,000 to go? What are you talking about? We're not even... I guess you're talking about meters, maybe. Okay, still descending. Speed. Isn't it a bit high, 250 knots? Maybe it's fine. Let's see. We have the ILS set up, so we can then click that and see how it's functioning. Still sucks though that this course bug isn't working as it should.
We have begun our final descent into Denmark. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to select any track one final time. Please ensure sleep table and stowed.
It's about 10 minutes left of this flight.
Please also store any carry-on items either in the seat back pocket or under the seat surface.
So yeah, we're getting there. 6,000. We should be down by around 4,000. Let's see if we get a lower clearance. It's descending with quite low vertical speed. Can't seem to set it here, so I'm not sure what it's calculating. Like how it's calculating our descent rate actually. Oh wait, we have here the vertical one. So let's see if we don't have the vertical one, how does it calculate then? Then I guess it calculates based on the speed, right? So like a kind of speed hold. It's something a bit quicker it seems. But not super quick. Descent to flight level 060. Hopefully we get some further descent clearances. 030, there we go.
Flight level 030 Scandinavian 4003.
There we go, we can select that. 030. Now we're getting really low. I think our transition altitude is probably around 3000 or something. Let's see. Transition altitude is 3000, yeah. So no mega stress yet. Everything is logical though in this one. It's just if you haven't read up on the logic, it's not logical. Some things, but yeah, the plane does what it's what it's supposed to do. That's usually the case. Yeah, we have about 30. I think the descent rate is quite good. Get to enjoy the views a bit as well. A bit dirty also the aircraft, so that's pretty nice. This must have been like when it was released, it must have been considered a really good model. Can imagine that at least. Okay, let's see, 5,500. It's quite a low. So I don't think you can see here in our system, right? It's not like any other information. We know we're heading to Nissan. That's the one. We have about 10 nautical miles, and then Devra and EKBI after that. Approach 119.25. Let me see, what's our approach altitude? I'm guessing 2000. 3000 and then 2000. Yeah. Still looking good with the performance management system. We can hear the nice ATC discussing in the background. Anything I need to remember the nose lights as well. How does the wing nacelles look? You can't see that. But yeah, overall it's a really good working airplane, this one. Haven't even looked here, but these seems to be clickable, service interphones, all of that. I mean, the only thing, if I could improve it, you know, like small improvements, of course, you know, I would improve everything if I could, but like the small ones, if I could get that, I would really like to have this one in 3D, the overhead panel. Then to have a bit better click spots, fix like bugs like that one, which seems to be the only one. And then, I guess the small improvement would be, yeah, like, I mean, like these 2D things, get rid of them. I mean, a bit of a refinement on texture-wise, right? And then this would be like, be a competitor to the Leonardo Mad Dog. Okay, let's see, we're gonna be turning to the right soon, Nisem. From Nisem to Bevra, not Devra, Bevra. And Billund, which could be good to know, I think is the airport you go to if you want to go to Disneyland, right? I think they have, I don't think we have it in game, like any specific, unfortunately no scenery for that, but yeah, it would be cool if they did have that in Simnor. Here you can see like all the wind power plants. Very interesting though that or not interesting, but makes sense to have them here in Denmark. It's so flat, but must be. I wonder how much noise they make if you have one close to your backyard. Still looking good. The question is, will we get further descent clearances or just expecting us to descend ourselves? So let's have a look at that and keep that in mind. We'll soon also have to kind of get rid of the nav, because we'll only have Evra and then the Bevra and then EKBI. So I guess kind of when we reach Bevra and we are tracking EKBI, then we should go to ILS on our mode. Let's see, I also think I had some thrust reversers issues, I think, on my last video with the 757 and the CRJ, but I think I've been able to fix that. Could have been when I imported or plugged in my new RAM that, you know, something says reset, unfortunately. Let's see, the speed is a bit fast, but I mean, we do have 20 plus nautical miles, so it's not that bad. But I would normally a bit start to arrest the speed, or not arrest, but to decrease the speed by decreasing the thrust, right? Now that's interesting. Why does it give different inputs to the thrust? Is that supposed to be like some sort of balancing thing? Doesn't make sense though. Could be, so I'm not gonna say that that's wrong or right, but yeah, that is interesting. Let's see if we press ILS what happens. There we go. So now we get the DME, that's nice. It's a bit off-throw, let's remember that. That's the runway though, I can see that, so that's good. Let's do speed select, and then we can do...
Cleared for ILS approach runway 27 tower on 129.5 Scandinavian 4003.
Vertical, we're still okay, I would say. We are descending quite slowly though, let's do it a bit faster. Let's put on the nose lights. Oh, we can't probably do that before we have the gear. We can go to flats.
Takeoff position. 1,000 to go.
Contact tower on 129.5 Scandinavian 4003.
And actually,
Landing gear.
yeah, let's see. I'm gonna
Tower Scandinavian
take over control.
4003 inbound for ILS approach runway 27.
Drop the landing gear.
Gear down and lock.
Continue ILS approach to runway 27 will call when established on final Scandinavian 4003.
Okay, once we're established on final, let's say that we are Scandinavian 4003 established on final.
Flaps 50.
There we go. I'm gonna
Cleared to land runway 27 Scandinavian 4003.
let's do this manually, my controls. Let's add a bit of speed and let's put in a
Flaps 28 and
flaps
land.
28. This landing will be interesting to see how it's modeled. I know it's difficult to land with the Mad Dog one, but it does seem to be a bit of a interesting one to handle. Let's put on nose lights. Okay, we need a bit more speed, so a bit more thrust. We're a bit below the glide slope actually. I think this is the one on the left. Let's be ready to go to flaps 40, which is our landing flaps. Oh, that's interesting with that wind power plant right in the path. You can't really do the, what's it called, dive and drive style approach here.
Flaps 40.
Flaps 40, I guess you can go maybe even, flaps 40 is the highest. Okay, and let's add a bit more thrust. Just to make sure we are not... Now we can descend. Now I didn't review the missed approach, so let's hope we don't have to do one. But I'm guessing it's a straightforward Can't see any reason why they would have to go left or right. We can arrest a bit or pull back a bit on the throttles. Still looking pretty good. It's nice to hand fly this one. Like you feel it's a bit of delays with some of the inputs. Okay, we're again a bit low, so we have a bit too much vertical speed. We're descending a bit too fast. Okay, gears are down.
1,000 feet.
Speed brakes. Let's see if I can. Oh, that was probably the. Sorry about that. I think that's the. You get these different sounds, right? The different altitudes, or is it? Oh, it's because we're lower than our altitude. That could be it. That could be it.
Don't sink.
Yeah, I know.
Don't sink. Don't sink.
Don't sink.
Don't sink. Don't sink.
Yeah, we're a bit low still.
Don't sink.
Doing quite okay. Some
Don't sink.
autogen issues here. Need to have a
Don't
look at
sink.
that.
Don't sink. Don't sink.
I know.
Don't sink.
I know.
500 feet.
Don't sink.
500, yeah.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
We should soon be getting
Don't
minimums,
sink.
right?
Don't sink. Don't sink.
Continue.
400
Don't sink.
feet. Minimums.
Don't
Continue.
sink.
Oh, that was the minimums call out.
Don't sink.
Okay, let's see.
300 feet.
300. I don't think we need to crab. Maybe a bit to the right.
200 feet.
250. Or
100 feet.
100 feet.
50. 40.
Stabilizer motion.
Bit
20.
wait. Come on.
10.
Oh. Let's get this down. Come on. Ooh. We should have. I think we got a bit. That was a bit of a tight one. Okay, that's I mean really interesting seeing how that landing actually went. Okay.
Flaps up. Take off position.
I mean a good landing in the sense that we survived, but it felt like we came down a bit. Maybe I didn't crab enough. Maybe I should have crabbed.
Denmark. The local time is
But at least we landed, and it did handle quite a bit like the Mad Dog actually. So that's I'm gonna use that as kind of the standard. I just realized we never set the altimeter right, so that probably did. My guess is that that's a bit 125. Yeah, we had. We should have a much. Luckily, the conditions were good enough, so we could kind of use the IR eyesight to tell us how high / how low we are, but could have been dangerous. Scandinavian 4003, ready to taxi. There we go. No slides, we can keep on. Wing light off, position on. We don't need strobe.
Ground on 131.5 for taxi
I
clearance.
don't know if you need the start pump anymore. Let's try without it.
4003.
So for the APU, Scandinavian 4003, ready to taxi. Let's see. Didn't catch that. Scandinavian 4003, ready to taxi. Yeah, APU is working. That's nice.
Taxi to stand
I'm not sure
67
when.
Scandinavian 4003.
6-7. Is there even such a stand? I'm gonna guess it's probably wanting us to park somewhere over there. I've had that happen before. I should have nice GSX profile for this one, so Let's see. I think I did set that up for the EKBI, but I'm not now 100% sure if I did do that. Let's do stand 2.6. No follow me needed. Let's have a look though just before, if we can get these APU buses on. We can do the APU those, and then we can shut these bleed supplies. Then we'll park here. Just nicely park like that. This will do, I think. We're not gonna anyway use the all the stuff here. That's necessary. So let me shut the engines. That's good. Let me see if I can get the pack X. Seatbelt signs off. We'll just open the first door. Let me see if... Yeah, pretty good. 127 landing rate. I can save that. Close the door. Then I'm gonna do a replay. Let's just have a quick look at the landing, just how it went. I think it went pretty well. Just noticed now my mic was a bit further away from my mouth, but hopefully you heard what I was talking about. Don't sink, don't sink. And let's see. So we're coming in a bit. Should be... maybe the trim is a bit off. Or yeah, I guess we flare once we get down. We're a bit maybe descending a bit too much. And now we're flaring. But it's gonna float a bit. It's probably because we hit with the nose down, that's the problem. I flare too little at the end. That's the problem, right? You see, nose down, nose first. Wasn't too heavy on the nose, but enough to kinda, you see, making it a bit hard to steer it. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that video, seeing the Omega navigation system and all. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I wish you a good rest of the day. Thank you for watching.